Alright, now so far, I gotta take these decals off. So far, it took me almost 20 minutes just to get all this off, and I still got this. This is on here pretty good, and it's kind of hard to price stuff like this because you don't know how easy it's going to come off. Granted, you can have the right chemicals and things that might make it a little easier, but all in all, with stuff like this, you gotta kind of say, well, the price could be more once we start actually taking it off. With stuff like that, it might be a good idea to kind of lean more towards an hourly rate. You know, with $70 an hour, $80 an hour, or whatever. And you charge like that. That way you don't undercharge yourself. But I'm going to show y'all the best way to get this off. I don't know if y'all can see, but with stuff like this, if you start pulling on it, let me show you. Let me get it started. You see how this rips? It rips off. So what you got to do is, you got to cut 1-inch sections, and you got to grab 2 fingers, pull on both sides, and go slow pulling down. You can get a whole section. Let me show you. I got to use 2 hands, so I got to put the phone down. Okay, you see how I just ripped a section out of that? If you don't go slow, this will rip partway through you're pulling it. Then you have to start all over again. And what you're going to have to do is, you're going to have to scrape the top part. Get it started. Alright? I'm using 1 hand, so you want to pull down real slow. You see how it can easily break? It's because I wasn't using 2 hands. But there's your tip for today with decals that has a long sheet rather than just lettering. Now, my next thing is, okay, so I didn't feel so bad about undercharging this job. I got on the horn and I called him and say, from the time you left me, this is how far I reached. And I spent a half an hour on 1 window, and I still got that to go. So you got to figure 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1 hour. That's 2 hours just for taking that off. That's not even cleaning it, but that doesn't take long to do that. But as long as you explain to the customer, they will understand this. It's just not an easy process. It's not like you can just rip that stuff off. Now, if I did have a heat gun, but that's all the way on the other side of town, I had a heat gun or a steam thing, I could loosen up the vinyl, and it'll probably give it some elasticity so it doesn't break like that. But, you know, you don't know these things because you didn't even know what you were dealing with. I could have just said, we'll do it tomorrow, but I wanted to do it today. I wanted to show y'all about live canvassing and trying to sell the person on getting it done right then and there, as long as your schedule is clear. But there you have it. All right, what I decided to do is, I'm going to do maybe 2 more windows. But you know what? I'm just going to get the top part off and worry about the bottom part tomorrow. So the reason why I'm going to do that is because just because I got the job doesn't necessarily mean I got to do it right then and there. The job is not going nowhere. The money's not going anywhere. But in addition to that, I didn't have the right equipment for this job because I didn't know he was going to ask me to take off vinyl lettering. And vinyl lettering, it's always best to play with that with a heat source. And since my heat gun that y'all saw me use and buy many videos back at Harbor Freight for like $10, I always knew I was going to need that for something other than melting my wagtail handles and changing them into a 0 degree. I figured I could use it for something. I didn't know what, but now I see. Having a heat source gives the vinyl a little give, a little play. So you're not ripping and tearing the vinyl. It has more of a stretchiness to it, which means if you're heating that up after you wet the window, that water kind of reacts with the heat and allows that vinyl to stretch and pull off that glass much easier, I imagine. I've never done it, but if you have common sense and you understand the concept and you've watched videos before of people installing vinyl on cars, they always have a heat gun because they could stretch it and shape it to suit, for the curves. Just like a woman's curves. They shape it to suit. But there you have it. I hope these tips help y'all save some time so y'all know what not to do. And trial and error, that's all. This is my first vinyl job. I've taken decals out, but not no vinyl decals like this. And of this extent either. This is not a big issue. This is, because it's one whole piece. Then you got pieces of it. And you can't just rip one square off. You have to cut it in. It's best to cut it in small pieces. It's easier to manage that way. And when you're doing thin decals like this, it's best to slice. Slicing on an angle. You see how I'm doing that? Slicing on an angle. Rather than going like this. The reason you don't want to go like this is because these blades are so thin, and this particular scraper from Unger is not made to be going like this because you'll break the blade. The blade to be doing this, you want a heavy-duty scraper like the green one that y'all saw from Unger. It fits on a pole. That's a heavy-duty blade. That's a heavy-duty scraper. The other side is more for paint scraping, and the other side is for window. But that one, you can actually go like this, and you can get a good chunk of it up. Using it in the hand might be tough, but I would use a pole and just use the pole, just push from the side, real quick, beep, 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 and you can get a whole strip done real quick. But he's using it right now, so I gotta use this in the meantime. But it don't matter because I'm doing half, and we'll be coming back tomorrow.